It's the Daily Kebab. Greetings, Muttonistas, and welcome to the Daily Kebab. I'm not in Manchester anymore, and some of you might have wondered why I called this series the Daily Kebab. It's because I am now in Istanbul, the home of the kebab. But don't worry, folks, lots of football chat and content as well, and hopefully the best kebabs you can get on the planet. Anyway, straight on to the point. I've been travelling all day and it's very late, so I'm going to get this out quickly. My predictions were all over the place last night. I got none of them right at all. Starting off with Japan against Costa Rica. That's a match I did get to watch before I even departed. And Japan, wow, again, penetration of a wet lettuce. They couldn't get the ball anywhere near the net. And then Costa Rica, with their only shot over the two games, managed to score, hang on and win. That result has really thrown that group open, and Spain and Germany later on drew 1-1. I thought Spain should have won this game. They got themselves ahead with a great move, and then, in my opinion, they mismanaged the end of the match. Not only did they have a absolutely stone-cold breakaway that they messed up, but they tried to keep possession for 20 minutes and failed to do so, and they let Germany back in, and they might have even paid the ultimate price and been mugged at the end. But that group, wow, anything's open. I mean, with their goal difference, Spain are certain to qualify. But Japan have made a mess of it. They just needed a point, in my opinion, and a point they didn't get. So much for my 3-0 prediction. Then in the other group, I think I've just overrated Belgium completely. They've just lost the plot. They fully deserve their 2-0 loss to Morocco. Kevin De Bruyne couldn't do anything, although he was whinging at the other players. Hazard, we know, is out of sorts, and it's just an ageing team. And to be honest, it's managed by a guy who used to manage Wigan and try and keep them up every season, so they're not going anywhere. I'm not sure they'll even get through. And then my prediction for a shock Canada win was looking good for, well, a short while anyway, and then just before half-time, Croatia overpowered them completely. I think Canada looked good against Belgium, but I think that's now looking like it's got something to do with Belgium actually not being very good. And I actually think Morocco and Croatia are going to finish first and second in some order in that group. Okay, I've obviously been overrating the European sides, although Croatia were a notable exception today. Now, on to tomorrow's predictions. First up, we have Cameroon against Serbia, and I have to say, I think that's going to be a draw. I keep predicting these 1-1 draws, so I'm going to go with the trend in this World Cup and predict a 0-0 there, because both sides look pretty stale going forward. Although it might mean that they'll defend badly against each other, it'll be a score fest, knowing how well my predictions have gone so far. Later in the same group, Brazil against Switzerland. Brazil, many people's favourites. I'm not so sure, but I'm pretty sure they'll have too much for Switzerland. Switzerland have caused an awful lot of shocks over the years, but I don't think they're going to cause one tomorrow. They're decent and compact at the back, but I can't see them getting enough of the ball. I can't see them causing Brazil any problems, and Brazil do have a lot of firepower, so 2-0 to Brazil I'm going for there. Next, South Korea against Ghana, and I have to say the Koreans, who I thought would have a pacey attack, would score quite a lot of goals. Ghana were entertaining, a bit open at the back, but weren't too bad going forward. So, I'm going to stick my neck out again and go for a 2-2 draw, even though my predictions of high-scoring draws have not come even close to being correct. And then Portugal against Uruguay. Again, Uruguay, another team struggling to find the net. And Portugal, if they get a breakaway, they will punish Uruguay, I think. And I think that's what's going to happen, and I think it's going to happen only once, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Portugal. I think Uruguay's stars are ageing. I don't think they've got enough pace. I mean, look at how knackered Luis Suarez was after about an hour of the last game, and I think Portugal just have too much for them. They've got quality players all over the team, even though they're a bit of a stick and paste together outfit to suit Ronaldo. Anyway, the food is here, and I'm suspecting this will be a massive increase in quality of the kebabs that I've been having. Having said that, the one last night was pretty good, and the doner the other day in South Manchester, not bad either, but this should be the real deal. So whilst we're waiting, some bread, some warm bread, and something I think it's called jajik. It's a bit like tzatziki in Greece. No, not quite. It's actually a garlicky yoghurt. I thought it would be cucumber-based. Not too far away, but it has a slight difference, a subtle difference. It's actually very nice, but it's easy to get carried away in these places, eat too much of the bread and yoghurt before the kebab actually arrives. So cometh the hour, cometh the kebab. And we have the famous Adana kebab, which is a mixture of beef and lamb, ground meat, similar to the kebida that I had in the last Daily Kebab, except for that the herbs and spices used in the preparation are a bit different, and remember that was lamb. We've got some Glasgow salad, some grilled peppers, some rice, and onions that are smothered in sumac. And sumac seems to be a very traditional kind of herb that they use here, and I love it. Anyway, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. If they can't do it well in this country, where are they going to do this well? And Adana is a port in the southeast of the Mediterranean coast of Turkey, and for that reason this is often a little spicy, although please note that here, if you want spice, you often get it from fresh chilies, not from chili sauces, which of course in the UK we're obsessed with. Well, I must admit I do like that myself. That's pretty moist and tasty, although I must admit the kubida I had last night was one of the juiciest I've ever had, but this is pretty good as well. Time for some eating, and I'll be back with you in a couple of ticks. Well, I must admit I raced out of the hotel as soon as I arrived. It's about 2:30 in the morning at the moment, so I was happy with what I found. It was reasonable, but I've had better, and price-wise, obviously in this sort of area you'd expect it to be a bit more. But I hope you enjoyed that, folks, because there's going to be a whole rash of great kebabs coming your way. One downside is I might have to not run ads on this because that music was pretty loud, but I'll see how it comes out. Anyway, folks, until then, that was your Daily Kebab.